Hello friends and welcome to our new video about Angular 2 Plus components and templates. I'm your host Chetan Ethani and I will take you through this video. So friends, this is a UI which we will be building in this video, and at the end of video I'll share code with you so that you can look into code and practice yourself also. So friends, first of all, let's start with a component. So what basically is a component? So a component is basic building block of any Angular application. So in any Angular UI, whatever you see is either a component or a part of a component. For example, so UI you are looking at your screen has many components. For example, this one middle part is a component, right? And this search is a component, this user profile section is a component, and this navigation section is also a component. So a UI basically is a combination of component. A component can itself can be a combination of many other components. For example, here you can see in this left navigation bar, this first icon and this kites for sky may be a component, and then these menu items may be other components. So you can say Angular is a component based architecture. So basically a component has two parts. First one is component class, which basically contains a business logic for your application, and second one is template, which contains user interface elements, for example HTML elements or CSS part. So let's look at the code. So here is the code of application of a UI which I was showing to you. So if you go to the component we were looking at, which is called components and templates, here it is. So this is a component class we are talking about. So in this component class there will be a component decorator. So this is metadata provided by us to Angular, through which Angular recognizes that this class is basically a component class. In any component class you will see the logic of a class, for example this one, and this information. So this information basically is the selector for a component, template URL, and style URL. So basically selector is a hook through which you can use a component in any other component. For example, if you put this selector in HTML of any other component, so this component will become part of that other component. Now this is template URL. Through this template URL, Angular recognizes that this component has this URL. So you have option, you can write your HTML here also, or you can provide another file for any template. So basically template is a UI component. So let's look at template also. So it is nothing, it is only a combination of HTML components or HTML elements and other components. So basically it is a view of a component. And this is style URL. Basically this is kind of CSS. If you want to put any style for your component, you can put it here. So now let's see how we can create a new component. For creating a new component, go to your terminal window, this one, and write command ng gc and your component name. For example, your compo so this command will create your component. Here you can see my component is there. So in this component you can see there is a component file, this one .ts file, and there is a template file .html file, and there is one more file, that is SCSS for style file, and one is spec.ts. This is actually a file for writing unit test cases, so we will be looking at this later on. Let's look at your component file. So this is your component, and this is your selector, and this is your template file. So now you have to use your component in your application. For using your component in your application, you have to declare your component in your module. So we'll be looking at module and routing on later videos. Now let's focus on component and templates in this video. So you can find your module in app module. So as you have created your component from your CLI, it's already there or it's already declared in your app module. And second thing you have to do is you have to write your module in your declaration sections also. Now this part is done. Last thing is you have to provide a route for your module so that any user can use it. So for routing, you have to go to your app routing module and you have to provide path for your component. So don't worry if you are not following what is routing and what is module. We'll be discussing all these things in our later sections. Just focus on components and template in this particular section. So what I'm doing is I am providing a path for my component. So my component name is your component. So for providing path, I have to import my component file here. Okay, and what is my class name? Your component. So I'm doing all this thing in app routing section, and I have to provide a route for this component, right? And I'll build it. So it will take some time. So as you can see, my component or my application is already built. So I can serve my application now. So I'll write command for serving it, ng serve. So you can see my application has been served. Now I can use my application. So my component is your component. I will use this route to access my component. So as you can see, my component is already there. This is the text I have shown in my component, as you can see here. Now this is a simple implementation. There is no HTML, there is no styling. So I'll add some styling here. So what I will do is I will copy all the style, all the tags from this component and templates which is already built from here to my newly built component. This one, your component. And div here, and I'll change my text here. I'll change it to hello. I'll save it and let's see how it looks in my UI. So it is being compiled and this is my new component, right? So here you have seen about component and templates. Now how component and template will communicate, that will be through bindings. There can be property bindings and there can be event bindings also. So we'll take these binding in our next video. So friends, like I said, I will share code with you in the ending of this video. So all the code will be shared in GitHub, but the code you will find in GitHub will not have this component, your component. It will have this component. This is same way, this component is built in same way as we have built your component. So you can take all the example, all the things, all the code from here, and Link of my GitHub repository I'll share in the description section, so you can visit that repository and you can download the code. So that's all from my side. We will again be with you with our next video that will be on bindings. Thanks for watching this video. Goodbye and cheers.